Alright, good morning there. I hope if you're watching this video, you're having a terrific morning. What we're going to be playing at the moment is we're going to be playing a new game that came out just recently. I'm talking around about 5 days ago, called 20 Minutes Until Dawn, or 20 Minutes Till Dawn. What it is essentially is that it's Vampire Survivors, but with guns and a lot more depth to it, which, not to say that Vampire Survivors doesn't have depth to it, but man, it does get a little bit boring after a while. Now, this game is a lot of fun. There's a lot of upgrades. It literally came out 4 days ago. So we're just going to jump right into it. So what are we going to do? We've got a couple of characters here. Each one of the characters kind of has like a unique little way that you can play them. So with Diamond, we get extra high HP at the start. Shana, who is the one that you start off with, can reroll upgrades every time you level up. Scarlet shoots out a fire wave every time that she shoots at least 3 shots and things of that nature. Now on top of that, you can also pick different types of guns. So down here we've got things like the revolver, the shotgun, the crossbow, the flame cannon, dual SMGs, and all manner of different weapons. They're very cool. Leads for a lot of interesting runs that you can do different bits and bobs. What we're going to do is we're going to run Diamond with a shotgun. We also have these runes here that we can use to basically customize our run a little bit every single time. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to increase this aftershock ability because we are using a shotgun. The shotgun only has 2 shots in it. So we will be reloading quite often there. So I'm going to grab that so that we're going to be dealing about 20% of the bullet damage per rank when we reload after shooting our last gun. Sorry, not when we reload. And we'll level up, I think, maybe this elemental shield as well. So what we've basically got here is we've got increased fire rate, increased reload rate. We're going to deal damage every time we use the last bullet in a round before reloading. We knock back enemies after reloading and increase our reload rate. Every time that we inflict status ailments like freeze or burn at least 50 times, we gain invincibility for 4 seconds. And then every 1,500th enemy killed, we will drop 1 HP worth of healing. Now that might sound like a lot, but trust me, this game gets very wild very quickly. So let's just jump straight into this. We're going to go with a standard mode. I've won at least 3 runs, but I'm going to be playing something on Darkness level 0 just to get this like recording out of the way, I think. Just make things a little bit easier for myself. It'll make it so that I can show off this game, this awesome game. So we'll just jump straight into it. Alright, so straight off the bat, you can kind of see where the similarities of Vampire Survivors kind of come into it. We are pretty much out in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere. We have a large number of enemies that are just going to continuously come towards us, wave after wave. And yeah, this is pretty much what we do. We pick up little experience orbs, and you can see our level right up the top there, and we're just about to level up off of this experience here. And then you get a number of upgrades that you can choose from. You've got 5 that you can choose from each time that you level up, depending on which different types of upgrades you have. It changes the sorts of synergies that you can unlock, and you can actually see what each path kind of unlocks. So if we go max HP +1, it'll unlock this ability or this ability, and if once we pick 1 or 2 of these, we can get to the last one, which will just give us 1 HP every 90 seconds. What we're going to look for here, I think, is we might look for something that will give us a little bit more fire rate so that we can get these gunshots out nice and quickly. We could also take power shot so that we can get the... Actually, you know what? Let's take power shot. We're going to take increased bullet damage by 25% and knockback by 20%. That should really help us with getting started nice and early. So the aim of the game, much like Vampire Survivors, is to pretty much run around, shoot things, kill things, and pick up experience as you do so. The real skill of the game comes into it, where if you are running around and shooting things and just constantly running away, you won't gain any experience, so you won't level up, so that you will die eventually. Let's take and increase even more big shots, maybe. We can take increased shots, increased bullet size, less fire rate, which is fine because we do already have quite a good fire rate. We are only shooting the 2 shots and then reloading immediately, which is fine and dandy for us. We do kind of have a reload build going on at the moment where we will just constantly be dealing damage to them when we reload and when we shoot the last shot in our clip. So this is pretty much how the game is going to run. We have a enemy that spawns at about 16 minutes, I believe. I think that's when the elite enemies start getting spawned. What are we going to do? We're going to grab this double shot, a little bit less bullet damage, but we've already got a lot of bullet damage, and it will just increase the amount of projectiles that we shoot, which is great because we'll be shooting an extra bullet, a little bit more of a wider spread, so we're getting a little bit of a little bit of a hose action going on here, where we can pretty much just like patter out in different directions, shoot out a large amount of bullets in different directions, and pretty much get things going. Now you will notice that we do have these little, you can't see it now, hang on, I'll upgrade myself first. So we'll grab Splinter because every single one of the enemies that die will blow up into smaller bullets, which is a great one for us. You'll see these little guys with the white orbs sticking out of them that you can see in the darkness. These guys basically are little explodey guys. If you get too close to them, I'll show you an example. Get too close, ooh, like this. They go and then they blow up. So they're like little proximity explosions, which are basically there to damage you and kind of trip you up for not moving quick enough. Reaper rounds is pretty good because we can pierce any enemies that we hit, but we will take Fanfire here because Fanfire, we basically will, every time we reload, we will just be shooting out 10 additional bullets in a circle around us, which is really good for the shotgun because we get a lot of reloads out, so it's just extra damage. And especially if we're in a little bit of a spot where we're a little bit surrounded, it'll give us a little bit of a chance to get more of an opening so that we can make our way out. But we do want to try and aim for those Reaper rounds next, I believe, just for the sheer fact that, I see I'm already starting to get into this mindset of just moving in the direction and not picking up any of the experience. Let's go back here. And then we can possibly get the quick hand so that we can reload a little bit faster. Probably wouldn't be too horrible, which is what I think we're going to grab. So now our reload should be cut in around about, I wouldn't even say half, it's a 20% increase in reload rate. So we are basically reloading a fifth of the time quicker, I guess. So every 5 reloads, we'd be doing an extra reload, basically. It's probably the easiest way to put it. We're starting to get a little bit squished in here. Splitfire is pretty good because we will just shoot an additional bullet behind us when we're shooting our gun, which is pretty good. I think we might grab that one. There we go. Now let's see how we go. Now I don't actually know the timings of everything. I do know that a boss spawns at the 15-minute mark, and then another boss spawns at the 5-minute mark, I believe. But I might be wrong in that, so do forgive me if I am inaccurate with that information. But you'll know, so there's the first elite spawn. So the elite actually spawns at about 17 minutes. So these are the elites with the red outline. What will happen once we actually kill this one? Let's grab the movement speed, I think. Would probably be pretty good for us here, because we are starting to get a little bit overrun. So what will happen is that when we destroy this elite monster, we will essentially get a chest that will drop, and instead of giving us an upgrade, or just extra upgrades like you would assume to happen from the Vampire Survivors kind of equivalent, what will happen is that it will drop a chest that is unique, will have a unique modifier, that will have a modifier that is unique to our character that we are playing. So for Diamond, we're going to open this up and let's have a look. Alright, hang on, we'll level up first. So we don't want to get the armed and ready because that gives us our increased max ammo. We might want to grab the Fusillade, possibly, because that shoots out a lot of shots. Yeah, you know what, let's grab that. It gives us a bit wider shot, gives us extra projectiles, less bullet damage. And we're going to grab this chest. So this is what I mean. We got Diamond, so we got Diamond's Strong Will. When Diamond's HP is at or below half of max HP, increase piercing by 2 and knockback by 25%. So they're literally unique to each of the characters, which actually makes the characters feel like they play different. After you know, because I believe that there's currently 3 different unlocks that you can get for each character. Once you know what the unlocks are, that kind of gives you an idea of how you need to play the character in order to play best to their strengths. So we will be going for the Reaper rounds this time, a little bit more bullet damage and piercing, which will really help us kind of clear out these larger lots of mobs that we've got going on. So now essentially our gun will continue onwards if we kill something, and also all of our bullets will pierce at least one person, which is awesome. We're getting into a really good rhythm at the moment. We need to kind of maybe look to see if we can get something that'll give us a little bit more reload rate so that we can get these reloads out of the way nice and quickly. And we'll see how that fares us. And we're just going to kind of pay attention to where we're walking and what we're doing. We might actually grab this take aim, which will give us a little bit more bullet speed. Bullet speed essentially is the range of how far the bullet will travel. It does affect the actual speed of the bullet coming out, but more speed means that your shots will go further, which is good. We get a little bit less spread, which is kind of because we're going to be a little bit more focused in our firing, but with that piercing and the Reaper rounds, it is very good for us to be able to shoot further. So we'll aim for that. I believe, honestly, I've had a couple of runs where I've used the shotgun, and the shotgun is honestly quite nuts. It is quite a good weapon. I can see a few runs where shotgun is just like the MVP. Because it's just got a really quick reload. Honestly, it would probably be worthwhile to give it 2 shots and then maybe a slightly less reload, like slightly longer reload time. Okay, and here we go. We've got the boss spawn. So the boss actually has some mechanics in terms of how they kind of deal in the arena. So the arena has spawned that little red line that you can see going around us. Means that if we cross that, we're going to take some damage, which is not good for us. We're going to grab this penetration to give us increased bullet speed and increased piercing, which will be great. Means that our bullets will go a little bit further, pierce a couple more people. And yeah, as you can see here, he kind of has a little bit of a sound bite to let you know that he's about to charge at you, and then he will charge at that location where he's looking. So you just kind of need to move yourself around and just keep moving to ensure that you don't take any damage from him. I will be honest, I usually take at least a little bit of damage from him. I don't think I've ever gotten through... I mean, I have gotten through a couple of times without taking any damage from him on really busted runs, but I generally do get hit by him maybe once or twice, because it is a lot to pay attention to. But let's have a look. See, he should be close to dead now, hopefully. Nope, there we go. There's that damage that I was talking about. No, I might take another one. No. How many shots do you have? Okay, he was like 2 clips away from being dead. The bosses each drop this little like sigil, and if you pick this up, it gives you a choice. Well, I guess I'll get an upgrade again first. Let's get the increased bullet speed and increased bullet damage. That's fine. We're piercing a lot at the moment. We get this. So this is 3 different tomes. Each tome gives you some benefits and then some negatives. So what have we got here? We've got Tome of Power, plus 50% bullet damage, plus 100% bullet size, plus 1 piercing, minus 25% fire rate, minus 1 max HP. Excuse me, sorry about that. Tome of Rage, fire rate plus 266, spread plus 60, bullet damage minus 50, knockback minus 95. I think the Tome of Power is probably going to be the best one for us. It takes off a little bit of max HP, but we do have pretty much a lot of max HP to go. We do want to probably aim for something that gives us a little bit more fire rate if this is the case, but our bullets will be huge and dealing lots of damage. There, you can see that there. And even the fire rate isn't honestly something that's too horrible. The next lot of enemies that we're going to see are these little red eye things. They will essentially stay a certain distance away from you and will shoot these little red projectiles that'll just float towards you in the direction that you were last when they shot at you. So they don't have tracking or anything, which is nice. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for. Reload rate plus 10%. We need something that gives us more fire rate, honestly. So I might grab the magnet just to get some more experience quicker, which would be good for us. But yeah, you can kind of see what I mean when, like, there are a lot of obvious parallels to kind of pull it towards what Vampire Survivors is doing and what Vampire Survivors has done. But it almost feels as though Vampire Survivors kind of laid the groundwork for this game because of the fact that this concept feels a lot more fleshed out as a twin stick shooter. which is a lot of fun and very enjoyable. Assassin, 10% increased bullet speed might be worthwhile, and bullets automatically kill enemies below 20%. That'll just mean that we're just killing things more often, which isn't a horrible thing. And we do a lot of damage, so the 20% should be pretty much one shot and done, more or less, which is very nice. But yeah, this game just seems a little bit more fleshed out, like a little bit more is going on. You just saw that heart spawn, which means that we've killed 1,500 enemies with about 12 minutes left on the clock, 13 minutes left on the clock. What do we get here? We probably want to grab the run and gun. We are pretty much constantly shooting, so the only other thing that you can think of with this game is that while you are shooting, you are moving a little bit slower because you are walking while you're shooting, as opposed to running while you are not shooting. But getting the run and gun really helps with that sort of movement. You'll notice that there's not quite as much of a disparity between when I am shooting and when I am not shooting now, or when I'm reloading. So the movement speed really does help there. And what have we got here? Recharge. Every XP pickup has a 10% chance to fill 1 extra ammo. Probably not. I think we can grab watch and learn, give us a little bit more vision, a little bit higher pickup range. I think that's fine. Alrighty. You can see we're getting in a really good groove now, and when I tell you that I have played games of this where my PC has been a little bit taxed, and I have noticed quite a harsh slowdown, I think you can kind of see where I'm coming from in that regard, because this game does get kind of crazy. Reload rate plus 5%, increases bullet damage by 30% for 1 second after reloading. Really good. We reload really often. Having the reload go off a little bit faster, we are literally just having a 30% increase at the moment, because we basically do not take more than a second to shoot both of our bullets. Which is really good. We are starting to get into a little bit of a crazy territory where it is starting to get a little bit hard to maneuver. Getting into this game, into the later stages of this game, make it really difficult to maneuver around. Well, we've got mini clip, reload rate plus 100%, bullet damage plus 50%. This essentially makes it so that we only have 1 shot before we reload, which is pretty fucking good on this gun, I'll be honest with you. So I'm going to grab this one and we'll just see bang, bang, bang. Look at that. We are shooting around about as quickly as we were previously, but now we just have so much more damage, so much more spread, and our reloads are infinitely quicker. The fan is just going off non-stop. We can grab some fire rate here, but it's really not useful because of the fact that we have so little clip. We have literally 1 bullet. So I'm gonna grab this holy shield just in the case that we do take a little bit of damage. We do have quite a good run here. I kind of want to keep it that way, and see if I can't bring this all the way through to a completed run. So we'll see how we go with that. We do have about 11 minutes left on the clock, and you will notice again, the timer does stop pretty much every time that we get an upgrade, so that 11 minutes might not necessarily be 11 minutes. Divine Blessing, increased reload rate and movement speed while our Holy Shield is active. Absolutely wonderful. Increased reload rate, so we are pretty much at this point with the mini clip upgrade, we are limited by how quickly we can reload in order to actually get these shots out. Now recharge might be not horrible, because we are only shooting 1 bullet. It will essentially make it so that we are shooting 1 bullet and then that bullet is getting refreshed, because you can actually reload while reloading. It sounds really weird, but the reload bar will appear and you'll just put an extra bullet into the clip, which is really strange. But I'm going to grab magic lens here because it's going to make us deal even more damage so long as the bullets are passing through the lens. So that gives us like a little bit of a positional thing. Not at the moment, like not that we're really struggling to get kills at the moment. But you can definitely see it helping. It's adding about 6 damage extra to the bullets that are passing through it, so that's really good. Let's grab the Stalwart Shield. So if we do lose the Divine Shield, it will come back in about half the time, so it'll take about a minute for it to come back, and that's a minute in-game time, not minute IRL time. So we'll just go through. We're just going to keep cleaning up, keep picking up all of these bullets. We're pretty close to 10 minutes. I believe the next boss should spawn at 10 minutes. We can get refraction, which will give us bounce, which isn't super good with our... It's not really that great with piercing, I don't think, because I'm not really sure what goes first, if it goes bounce or piercing. So let's grab recharge just for the increased pickup range, and we'll see how, well, I guess now we are seeing that we are getting about 2 shots every reload, and you can see what I mean, that sometimes it might be a little bit hard to see because of how quickly we reload, but there are some points where we will be reloading and shooting gun at the same time, which is pretty interesting to say the least. What have we got here? Glare. Increased vision range, and all enemies within the vision range take 5 damage every 2 seconds. That's basically just it's literally just passive damage. I don't see why not, as long as we are close to things. And even though we do have the huge bullet speed, so our bullets do go quite a bit further than normal, things usually are in our vision range in order to take damage. So we're at the 10-minute mark now. I guess I was wrong, and apparently things don't spawn at the 10-minute mark. I thought 10 minutes would have for sure been where we saw the next boss, but it doesn't look to be the case. We're going to grab excitement. We're going to increase pickup range so that we'll have max pickup range, and then every time we pick up experience, we're going to gain 35% fire rate for 1 second, which can be kind of nuts. Okay, yes, so this is what happens at the 10-minute mark, is that we get, like, the next level of enemies. So all of these smaller enemies are kind of replaced by these much larger, more deadly enemies. I mean, they're not really more deadly. Anything that hits you deals 1 damage, which is, again, something that I feel as though this game could potentially also improve on, is that there's no real, like, damage variance. Everything kind of just hits you for 1, which, I mean, I guess is fair considering most characters in this game have about 3 or 4 HP. Diamond's the only one that really has just, like, crazy amounts of HP to spare, but it might be worthwhile to add, like, a little bit more variety to the game and a little bit more spice. And we're going to head down here to the southeast because there is a little bit more experience to pick up, so we'll just grab all of that before making our way back through this horde that we've amassed. We're essentially playing the we're essentially doing the zombies maneuver of just like running around so that we're amassing a big train of zombies and just killing them all off so that we can get as much experience as possible. Alright, we're going to grab Intense Glare, increased vision range, and the damage of glare is doubled, so it's just 6 passive damage every time that somebody is in... Every 2 seconds, they're taking 6 damage, which might not sound like a whole lot, but we are only currently doing about 21 damage per shot, 27 if the bullet goes through our lens, so that means that we will be doing quite a little bit more passive damage. Now, we do have the elite spawning here again. Now we're in a bit of a scary position because this elite spawns a lot of these little guys who can just eat up your bullets if you're not in the right build. But it looks like we're doing quite fine as long as we shoot in that direction. We just pay attention to where we're kind of running around and dodging. And as you can see, this game gets a lot more bullet hell than I think Vampire Survivors ever does. Because you do actually have bullets that you have to dodge, which is very interesting. Something just exploded over there, which gave us a little bit of breathing room, and that guy has dropped his chest. So what upgrade do we get now? Increases your bullet damage and bullet size by 15% permanently every time that you heal. Okay, so this is a really good level up that can work well if you've already got the pyromancy Bernie sort of build where you will heal whenever you it's like a 0.05% chance to heal whenever you inflict burn on an enemy, which doesn't sound like a lot, but once you hit 700 enemies per second of the game, it stacks up quite quickly. Let's grab Sight Magic, so the damage from glare also applies on hit effects of your bullets. We don't have any on hit effects of our bullets actually, so maybe we can ditch that and we can instead maybe grab Blazing Speed, and then we can, yeah, let's grab Blazing Speed, so we just move a little bit faster. The burn isn't really anything too crazy, because of the fact that we don't really have a burn build. It is going to be doing, like, I think it's around about 2 damage or 3 damage, depending on how many speed upgrades you've got. But since we have not really gotten many of, if any, of the movement speed upgrades, except for like the base one, I believe, we won't be seeing too much crazy damage coming out of this. That's fine. We are doing quite well. I don't think I've been hit this entire time that I've been talking for like the last 10 minutes. So obviously, I wouldn't say that means that I know what I'm doing. But you know what? I think it shows that I do very much enjoy this game, and I think this game is pretty much my sort of jam. Alright, vision range increase, but the damage of glare occurs twice as often, or we can grab this rapid fire to give us some higher fire rate, which I think it might not be the worst thing around, because we could potentially get this siege where while we're standing still we have a 1 out of 3 chance to not consume any ammo, which is very cool once you get to the point where you're just kind of at this point where, you know, realistically speaking, picking up experience is not super necessary. We've only got around about 6.5 minutes left to go. Let's see how we can go. At the 5-minute mark, the final boss will appear, and then after, I think it's like 5 minutes, the final boss appears, and then 4 minutes, the final elite appears. So let's see how we fare against those. I think we've got quite a good build at the moment. You know what? Let's grab this refraction and make our bullets actually bounce. Let's see if it's any good for us. I'm not too sure how it's actually going to work with the piercing. It doesn't look like it has done pretty much anything from what I can see, but again, this game is kind of, there is like, you know what, the visual style of this game is very good, very clean, but I feel as though with any game, regardless of how clean and good your visual style is, I feel as though once you get to this sort of point, it does start to get a little bit hard to tell exactly what's happening. So that's not so much the game's fault, more just an expression. We can grab armed and ready here because we'll get +2 max ammo, which will bring us up to 3. Oh no, it won't. It doesn't actually stack. Okay, so now that apparently the mini clip giving us -666 ammo actually stacks retroactively, I guess? I don't think that's the right term, but I think it overrides it. So it must keep track of what your actual like ammo count is in the background, and if you've got, like, I assume that once you take mini clip you're just destined to always have 1 shot in your gun, which is fine. What is this? Gun mastery, bullet damage +15%, fire rate +15%, reload rate +15%, +1 max ammo, +1 piercing. Don't mind if I diddly do. That sounds awesome. So we're just firing faster, dealing more damage, piercing more enemies. It's just absolutely nuts. In about 3 seconds, we're going to have the next boss spawn, I believe. We should see the arena start to close in. There it is. And the final boss monster that spawns is this guy here. He has a laser beam sort of thing going on. You can actually see where his laser beams are going to originate from, because you can see the red spots on his being. I did get hit there and I lost my holy shield. I haven't lost any health yet though, which is good. Oh, there it goes. I do have a tendency to take damage from the bosses because the bosses just add like an extra level of complexity, I guess, that I'm just not really too switched onto yet, even though they do have fairly simple patterns of behavior. With the addition of, like, you know, all of the guys who are trying to explode around me and all of the little red bullets that are flying towards me, it does make the boss fight a little bit more difficult. Understandably so, but we should have him pretty much on the ropes here. He should be close to dead if he's not already. We are going to get another level up here, so we're going to probably grab... None of these are really super important, I don't think. So, you know what? We'll grab this freeze because it's just going to help us in this fight against this boss right here, because he is just going to get frozen occasionally, and he will do less actions if he is frozen. You can see that elite has spawned underneath us here. So we do actually... We're honestly a little bit lacking for damage because I should have very much killed him at this point by this time, so maybe we're going to struggle here. Can I please kill you? Thank you. Can you grab me this? What have we got? Tomb of Elasticity, Tome of Elements, Tome of Summoning. None of these really are super great for us, so let's grab, I guess, I don't actually really want any of these, so I might just leave this one, because I don't really want the decreased bullet damage, because I feel like that will do nothing but harm us. because we are currently living and dying by the amount of bullet damage that we are doing, and it is not looking too crash hot. We are down 3 HP, but we may hopefully run into the point where we will get one of those health ups, because we have killed quite a few enemies. The only other thing that I would really love from this game would be to see how many enemies we have killed, because there's no counter for that enabled. Increases fire rate and reload rate by 10% permanently every time that you take a hit. Well, you know what, that would have been really nice several minutes ago. Back when I got hit 3 times in a row, that would have been crazy good. Alrighty, what have we got here? Sight magic, damage from glare also applies on hits from there. Kill clip's pretty good. It means that every time that we kill an enemy, it increases our reload rate by 5%. If we kill enemies in like 1 or 2 hits, we should pretty much just permanently be reloading, which it does look to be the case here. We are just kind of going nuts off of that. So that's really good. And you can see, based off of all of the people that are currently frozen, now I know that it's like a 30% chance for them to be frozen by getting hit by my bullets, but I'm hitting each person with like 3 bullets, and then anybody who dies is also releasing bullets, which are also dealing damage. So you can kind of see how it gets a little bit crazy when it gets to that sort of level. You know what, we might as well grab Ice Shard, because we are shooting 1 bullet and reloading, so it just means that we're just going to shoot out Ice Shards in perpetuity, as it were, and you can see them just like flying off in random directions. So maybe what we need to do here is level up and grab the next level of the ice magic, so that we can get more of that stuff going on. Shatter, any enemies affected by Freed explode when killed, and they deal 25% of everybody's max HP near them. Really, really good. Let's grab that. That's going to really help us. We literally only have about 2 minutes left, but you can see immediate. Look at that. Look at this level up. It was absolutely game-changing. Look at how much damage they are doing. That is absolutely crazy how much damage they are doing. So they're doing about 100 damage to each individual around them when they blow up, which just causes a chain reaction of just get fucked. Awesome, awesome. We can grab Divine Wrath here. This will just like zap people around us occasionally while we've got our shield up. No huge deal. We don't really have a lightning build, so there's no real point in going in too deep into that. But this max health damage is really helping us clean up, and we are getting to we are at that point where we are struggling to get up to the enemies to kill them. We just need to keep an eye out for those little red balls to make sure that we aren't getting hit by any of those. Let's grab, you know what, we'll just double down, make sure that this run does survive. Let's just get the extra max HP. It does also give you +1 health at that point, so that will also give us increased damage overall, damage output overall. Because of the fact that we got that Berserk level up, where we just basically, every time that we heal, we gain a little bit more damage and a little bit more fire rate, I think it is. I don't know. I'm not too sure on that one. But we're just going to go through and just like completely mow all of this down. Absolutely destroying this, like, completely and utterly. We don't even really need to aim the magic lens at this point. We are more or less just running around and shooting. And you know what? We can take into the wind, so that in like the next 40 seconds, we're going to be at our absolute maximum, so long as we don't take any damage. I have lost my shield, so I did get hit at one point during that. I don't know where, I don't know when, but it did happen. It doesn't matter, the shield's back, so it happened about 55 seconds ago. If you want to scroll back and figure out where I got hit and post it down in the comments, please do so, because I have no idea what's going on at this point. Oh, good lordy. 25 seconds left on the clock. A really nice, good first run to kind of give you an idea of what this kind of game is capable of, and what we should be seeing from these sorts of games in the future. You know what, it doesn't matter, let's just grab this one here. That's just going to give us a little bit more bullet speed, a little bit more range, and we're just going to mosey on down through the last 10 seconds. I don't think we're going to hit another level up, because we are at that point where, my lord, is it struggling. There we go. Alrighty. There you go. Perfect. almost level 42, 41 and a half, let's call it there, call it even, and yeah, there you go. That was till dawn, 20 minutes till dawn actually. That was 20 minutes till dawn. So if you do like this kind of gameplay and this kind of game, or this type of video, please do let me know. Be sure to hit the like button and do all of the YouTube things, and if you would be interested in seeing more of this type of content in the future, so more of like the laid back kind of regular uploads, feel free to give me a subscribe and I'll see you around the place. But if not, if this isn't your thing and you just want to check out the game, thank you so much for staying with me. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope I made your morning just a little bit better. And as always, that was me, Whippy, signing off. Catch you, gamers.